In this video, I'm going to show you how to build 3 Google Ads reports in HubSpot that will help you identify your top performing keywords and help you make smarter optimization decisions in your Google Ads account. Let's jump in. So before I show you how to build these reports, I want to explain why it's so important to utilize HubSpot for your reporting for Google Ads. For B2B companies, the key to success with Google Ads is not just driving conversions, but driving the right conversions. It's more about who you're converting rather than how many. If you convert leads that aren't qualified for your service or aren't a good fit for your business, they're not going to take sales meetings with your team and they're never going to become customers. So focusing on the quality of leads is more important than focusing on the quantity. And the problem with the Google Ads account alone is you can only see the number of conversions in the platform. You can't see who they are, what job title they are they from the right businesses, and are they converting to demos and becoming customers. So if you're just using the data in your Google Ads account, it's going to be really hard to optimize based on the quality of leads and what keywords are actually driving qualified sales meetings and customers. So what happens is if you're just optimizing based on the data in your Google Ads account, you're essentially flying blind. So what you want to do is you want to use a tool like HubSpot, because HubSpot not only tells you how many conversions you're getting by keyword, but who are they? What's their name? What's their job title? What company are they coming from? And are they taking demos and entering your sales pipeline? And if you optimize based on that data, based on the lead quality and what keywords are driving them consistently, you're going to make much smarter optimization decisions in terms of what keywords you should amplify and spend more money on and which ones you should cut. So now that we understand why HubSpot's reporting features are so helpful for our Google Ads strategy, let's now go build these 3 reports. The 3 reports we're going to build are conversions by keyword, marketing qualified leads by keywords, and sales opportunities by keywords. And what these reports are going to do is they're going to help us understand how many leads we're generating by keywords, how many qualified leads were generated by keywords, and how many of those leads are converting to demo. And by creating these reports, again, we're going to have a really good picture of how our Google Ads performance is driving down our funnel and what keywords are actually driving the right metrics, which is qualified sales meetings and customers. So the first report that we're going to build is conversions by keyword. So how we'll do that is we'll go down to reports here. We're going to create a new report and we're going to create a single object here. And we're going to do it by contacts. Now, here's where we want to build out the fields that we need to make sure that we're reporting on the right metrics. So the key fields we want to pull are original source, traffic source, and original source drill down 1 and 2. So what these fields are they are the fields that show us the source of the lead. So what HubSpot does is if it's connected correctly, is it pulls the UTM parameters into these fields. So if a lead converts from Google Ads, it's going to pull the original traffic source as paid search. And then what these drill down fields are going to do is they're going to give us more details on the campaign they converted and the keyword. Drill down 1 is going to show the campaign, drill down 2 is going to show the keyword. So drill down 2 is really what we want to see in terms of the keyword that generated the conversion. Next, we want to pull the latest traffic source. So what this can do is it'll show us not only the first source that they came from, but the last source. And sometimes these are different. Sometimes people are coming from, they visit you organically first, then they come from Google Ads and vice versa. Sometimes they come to your website from Google Ads to start, they leave, then come back organically. So this helps us understand from a full spectrum of how Google Ads is affecting your conversions. The next field we want to pull is create date and recent conversion date. The create date is when the lead was created in HubSpot, and the recent conversion date is the last conversion they made. So the reason we want to look at both of these fields is sometimes Google Ads is the first conversion they make to enter your CRM, but sometimes it's not. So we want to look at both of these fields to really make sure we capture all the data. So the next thing we want to do is we want to add filters. So all we want to do is add a filter here that says original source. So we want to add a filter here that says original source is any paid search. So basically this is just going to include only leads that are converted from paid search, or the latest source is paid search. So what this is going to do is it's going to pull anyone who their first conversion touch point came from paid search or their most recent one came from paid search. So it's making sure we capture all the leads that have potentially been affected by a paid search campaign. So now that we have our filters in place, now we can create the actual graph. So what we'll do is we're going to start with the bar chart, and we're going to use create date as the y-axis. We're going to pull in count of contacts here, and we're going to add a series for original source drill down to. Here it is. And then what we can do is we can make this chart bigger. So we can say like this here, for example, and we can group it up here, the frequency, to do monthly, quarterly, whatever you want. And for display options, let's make it, let's stack it. And so what we have now is for each month, we have the number of leads by keyword here. So we have clear visibility into what keywords are driving results. And on top of that, we can drill down into these things and actually see who they are, what company they're from, and really get a clear picture of the quality of the leads coming through by keyword. Lastly, let's just name the report, conversions by keyword, and click save. The next report we're going to build is marketing qualified leads by keyword. So depending on your business, and it depends on the business, sometimes marketing qualified leads, people just count that as conversions, but a lot of times people want to see what are the actual qualified leads that we're passing to our sales team. And so we can do that by labeling them as an MQL in HubSpot. So we're going to do the same report almost. We're going to click into a single object. We're going to use the data source contacts, click next, and let's delete a bunch of these fields because they're unnecessary. Okay. And we're going to add the same exact fields. And as you can tell, the original source and latest source are the key fields we need to pull this reporting. So it's really important that you have your tracking in place and these fields are populating correctly, because this is the key to unlocking all of the data. So let's get these here. Do this quick. Now, the field we want to add here that's different is the timestamp field. So for different lifecycle stages in HubSpot, HubSpot has a field that stamps it on the date that it's converted to a marketing qualified lead or a sales opportunity or a customer. So those are the fields we want to use to track when someone became a marketing qualified lead or anything in the funnel in HubSpot. So what we're going to do is we're going to type in date entered MQL lifecycle stage. And that's going to be the field we use to make sure that that we're pulling only marketing qualified leads. Now we're going to do the same thing, advanced filters. We're going to add the filter that the original traffic source is paid search or the latest traffic source is paid search. So now we have our filters. Now we're going to go to the visualization and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to click a bar chart. We're going to add, the difference with this report is we're going to add the date field to be date entered marketing qualified lead. We're going to make the measurement count of contacts, and we're going to make the series original drill down to. We're going to make this stacked again, and again, up to you, but I like to look at this monthly. And so as you can see, now we're only seeing the MQLs that are produced by keyword. And so again, sometimes this is the same metric for conversions for some companies, but what's important is trying to figure out a way to also really show which ones are qualified, right? Because that's really what's most important, is what keywords are consistently bringing the qualified leads. Because there's going to be plenty of keywords that bring in garbage leads, and those keywords just aren't, it's misleading. You don't want to be spending more money on those keywords. So that's why this report is so important. So we'll just name it MQLs by keyword, and we'll click save. So the last report we're going to build is opportunities or sales qualified leads by keyword. This is, in my opinion, the most important report you can build, because ultimately this is the metric you care about the most. We want to really understand what keywords are bringing in sales meetings. Obviously, leads are great, qualified leads are even better, but at the end of the day, they need to get to a sales meeting with your sales team, or they just don't matter. Because these are going to be the leads that actually become customers. So what we're going to do is we're going to build a custom report builder, because what we have to do is we have to connect two data sources together. So what we're going to do is we're going to make the primary data source contacts, and we're going to include deals in this as well. So basically what this does is when a contact gets added to a new deal in your sales pipeline, it connects the two sources. So what we want to do is take those traffic source fields from the contact and connect it to deals that have been created. So we're going to click next here. And what we're going to do is we're going to make the y-axis count of deals. So this is the number of deals we're generating. And we're going to make the x-axis create date. And I want to be clear, we're going to make a create date for deals, not contacts. That's important, right? We want to be on the date that the deal was created, the opportunity was generated. Now, let's say hypothetically you want to use a farther field down your pipeline. You can see here that also HubSpot has date fields when people enter specific stages of your sales pipeline. So maybe you want them to, you really want to count leads that got to your evaluation stage. That shows that they're in your pipeline, they're qualified. You can use this field instead. And so it just depends on how your sales pipeline is set up, but just know that you have that functionality to make these reports as customizable as you want. So I'm going to put it back to create date just for the example. And again, create date of the deal. And then lastly, what we're going to do is we're going to do the original source, drill down to, as the breakdown by. And then what we want to do is add our filters. Again, very similar to what we did before. Original traffic source is any of paid search. Latest traffic source is any of paid search. We want to make these filters any of the filters below, not all of them, right? Because we want them to be or. Lastly, what we might want to do here, and it depends on how you want to report, is filter the create date. So let's do deal create date, and let's say is this year so far. Let's just use that as an example. And what you need to do is you need to do a custom filter rule here, because what we want is 1 or 2 and 3. So we want either the original sources paid search or the latest traffic sources paid search, but they all need to have a create date of this year. And there we go. So now we have clear visibility into what keywords are actually generating sales opportunities. So as you can see, right, from the top, it looks like certain keywords are generating a lot of conversions, but as you drill it down into what's driving pipeline, it might be a different story as to what are the keywords that are bringing more of the right people, more of the right customers. And this is the data that you really want to optimize on. So let's call this deals by keyword, deals created by keyword, and click save. So now we have these reports built, and you can start to build dashboards like these that show you full funnel, how leads are driving down your funnel and where they are coming from. So you can really get a full picture of MQLs, demo set, who are they, were they a good fit, and really get that clear picture of your full funnel and the ROI your Google Ads strategy is actually driving. So I hope now you can see how important it is to have your Google Ads reporting inside of HubSpot and exactly how to do it to get that full visibility into the keywords that are performing the best. But the truth is, unless you have HubSpot set up correctly and connected with your Google Ads account correctly, you're not going to be able to see any of this data. So watch this next video that shows you how to properly connect Google Ads to your HubSpot account.